Kunkka.
They did ban Kunkka, yeah.
I think part of the reason why is they probably saw the series yesterday against Liquid, and when a team wins with something, the weird part about Dota is you never really know the reason why you won or lost with something. So you just have
to... You do.
Yeah, exactly. So you just like kind of hope, like, oh, this guy, GPK looked great on Kunkka.
Yeah.
It's never that simple, but like in tournaments, you sort of have to like trust these simple concepts. Like, this hero looked good. Maybe it was the reason why we won.
Okay. Interesting opening from the two. Ninjas and Pyjamas go for the Void, which was free from the draft. The Earthshaker got banned, which means we probably won't see the Morph anyway. And instead, Gambit have opened with an Undying Gyro. What do you make of that?
Gyro, good carry. Undying, really safe and strong laning support. Good team fight support.
Favorite of PPDs on the other side as well, so...
And the other nice thing about it as well is that if you drop down Tombstone, it gives you a lot of vision. And I think one of the solutions to beating Void is making sure that your whole team doesn't get Chronosphered together. So vision is very helpful. Undying being in the front to be the guy that takes the initiation can help there too.
Like these early Lina picks, this is what Alliance have been doing. It's potentially a flex pick, Will?
Yeah. Going back though on the Gyro, I think part of the reason why like the core matchup, why teams like it, because it can be bad if you don't have a save mechanism, like your Gyro can just get blown up. But when he gets Ags and you're just able to push the pace of the game, it doesn't feel too bad. Like, it's a very fast carry that has a lot of early mid-game damage, which is something that Void lacks. Gyro can just kind of push the pace and take fights non-stop. And he doesn't really have an internal cooldown like Void does, where your Chronosphere is pretty much your only way to win a fight. Gyrocopter is, especially with Ags, you're down to fight at any point.
Yeah.
It's just your natural skill set. But it does work both ways.
It's also nice that you have a ton of damage too. That's pretty bursty, but not just like one spell. So if he uses Time Walk and you get like a full Rocket Barrage off, that's devastating to avoid. It's like his fight is over because he's not going to be able to heal that.
Plus, like late game, the triple Rocket is actually much more annoying than you think about.
It's true.
You have a way to chase down the Void. So, like you said, the Lina, potential flex pick. It's just kind of, it leaves everything open because Gunnar, we saw him play it against Liquid yesterday. They ended up losing the game, but you're giving yourself options right now. And I think PPD versus FNG, you want to be a little bit mysterious. Keep your, hold your cards a little bit close.
Omni ban one side, it's been very popular. It's gotten through very few second phase drafts. And Beastmaster, what's the reason behind that, do you think?
I think Beastmaster just, it's a hero that I think Shashla plays very well, and it wins you the vision game. It makes it really hard to fight around Roche. Plus, it's a way to make the Void a lot better, like scaling, just because you give him an attack speed buff, and on top of that, like, you can take these mini fights that Void can't. You can set the tempo of the game so that you can create openings for your Void to just farm and farm. Like Beastmaster, you roar setup with any one hero, you're killing almost anyone on the game.
Yeah, like Void. Basically, it's another strong lockdown that would help guarantee that he gets killed. Either if he chronos a guy, it could be BKB lockdown, they could do chain stunning. There's definitely good things about it. But I definitely think a lot of it's the vision as well. It's about getting good chronospheres off or making sure that you don't get all chronoed. It also helps like pushing the lane as well. Void does early rotations sometimes for chronospheres, and the fact that you can take towers relatively fast as a Beastmaster can really help too, especially if you get like catapult waves and stuff.
Taking their time over this final ban.
An Underlord ban, very interesting.
Don't see many second phase Underlord bans. Don't see any Underlord bans, full stop.
Or picks, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rare hero sometimes, but it can be really effective at counter pushing.
I'm surprised though that they banned it against, considering they already have Undying on their team.
Yeah.
Like Undying plus Gyro.
Is that maybe a link to something they want to pick rather than they care about what Nip pick? Or would they pick themselves if they didn't want to face...
Gambit's heroes could potentially become a push lineup. Like, Undying is kind of good for that because of his sustain with Soul Rip.
What's even left offlaner-wise? You have...
Slardar?
Abba.
There's Abba still in the pool, yeah.
Abba and LC.
Yeah. A Gambit thinking, why haven't Nip taken the Abaddon yet? Is that what they're thinking?
I'm more surprised that Gambit... I guess Gambit... Have I seen them play Abba?
They have played it, yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I was NIP, I'd probably... I'd be really happy taking LC here if I was NIP. I think it's one of the better heroes. Like, Rubik doesn't really steal any of your spells that you feel too bad about. You have a way to purge off the rocket. I guess the one annoying thing is, like, Decay, but, like, Decay sort of bothers everybody. I think if I was an IP, I'd be happy with the LC.
What if the Ogre here and then left that as a bit more flex again?
Ogre's banned.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. That was a first phase ban as well. That's why I didn't see it.
I just like the Gambit open the Rubik here as well because their draft is still so flexible and where it can go. Makes it a lot harder for Nip to have to decide on a solidified path.
It's the Lesh. No, Lesh is banned, isn't it? Yeah.
Most of the best heroes.
Yeah. They're pretty much all gone now.
Lich.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a hero that Gambit used yesterday. So Gambit, in fact, take the Abba. NIP option-wise, I mean, they're left with like Sand King LC. Centaur's not terrible either. Centaur kind of works because I think he lanes up nicely against Gyrocopter, just because you have such high base damage. It's impossible for the Gyro to deny you. And you just like naturally are very tanky. You have a way to get on top of him in team fights. You don't have the best synergy for the Void, but you already have a lot of damage that you can jump in there with the Chain Frost and the Lina. So you don't really need much more DPS from your offlaner. Like usually when you have a Void, you don't want him to be the ultimate win condition. You want the ability to throw damage into that Chronosphere. Otherwise, it feels really underwhelming, and everyone just runs you over.
Especially.
Yeah, it's like
does the OD fit here then? In that case,
OD looks kind of good. But
I mean, I would prefer NIP at first pick, right? So it doesn't really matter like what option you take your cores in. Like you're gonna have to show 2 cores anyways.
Yeah.
The hope is that you counter the cores that you currently see. So you would have like Void Lich against Rubik Abba, which I think is a really good lane, Rubik Abba. That's a lane that
What do you make of the Razor? I haven't seen a Razor, I don't think, at this event. We've certainly not seen one on the mainstream.
it can be a good hero. I guess it probably lanes semi-good against Gyro mid, other than the fact that Gyro's really fast, so you won't get massive links off, but I mean, he can Rocket Barrage for last hits, but it's not as reliable, so... And even if he like does a homing missile or something like that, he's not going to super out-trade you if he's lost a lot of damage, so...
If you get like pipe first item on this Abba, it's going to be really hard for an IP to fight, because they actually they don't have a conventional save, but if your Gyro gets chronoed, you can pump in a lot of heals. You've got Soul Rip, you have Mist Coil, you've got the shield. So the positioning from Gambit has to be quite good, but they have several different ways to help out their Gyrocopter when he does get chronoed. And when it comes to like his item build, like as soon as he gets BKB Ags, I feel like he should be the strongest hero in this game.
Unless he gets damage sapped. Is the big thing, because all of his damage is based on his base. I mean, he does a lot of magic damage, of course, but flat cannon and even Ags is required for him to have good damage. Razor can steal all that.
The nice thing about Gyro, though, he's like a really fast hero. He has a move speed talent, too.
Yep, he is. But not that Razor isn't either at some point. You buy the right items. And against like Undying, who has weak disable, Razor's going to be effective. Against Abaddon, same thing. The only hero that's really obnoxious is Rubik Lift. Can pretty easily lift and throw him out of range of Link. But yeah, for that reason, Razor looks pretty decent. They are kind of lacking some single target damage, and Razor helps that too.
I like that Centaur.
The Centaur ban, we talked about it. Could be a good pick for Nip.
It's good against Gyrocopter, and it's a way to initiate fights for them. I would like to see more than one initiation other than Faceless Void.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of down for... I mean, I was down for LC, but now you've got, like... The Abba makes it a little bit more annoying.
I do kind of like Slardar, actually, this game. They have Dispel with Aphonic Shield, but a lot of their heroes are going to be really weak to heavy physical damage outside of that.
The annoying thing about playing Slardar, though, against Rubik is he almost always gets... Like, really good Rubiks get the lift off against you every time. It's, like, kind of the annoying thing about picking Sand King or Slardar here is, like, you're giving away a really good spell.
There's the FC.
So I would agree with you if not for the fact that Rubik was on the other side, because then Sand King and Slardar feel really mediocre. Yeah. It's like every time you play Sand King against Rubik, you're giving away Burrow Strike or you're giving away Sandstorm, which are like terrible options to give up. And when you're playing against Slardar, it's really hard to blink. If the nowadays pros are so good that you will get the lift off as they come in because the cast animation is so long.
And the LC, you're not that worried about what Rubik takes from him, I guess.
LC, I don't think you care at all. Like, no. I thought they were going to take this when they took the Lich pick.
Oh, okay.
It's also a good way to like disrupt those guys that want to be healing. If you duel them, even if it's like Undying or Rubik or
Just to take him out.
Abaddon. Yeah, they're essentially separated from the fight, like a Cyclone or Eul's.
So when you have LC and Razor on one team, you actually need another source of damage on the side of Gambit. You can't all in put everything on your gyrocopter. So I'd like to see them pick another like more of a carry type mid.
Troll.
Let's see what's available.
Elk.
So they banned Quap.
Yeah.
Yeah, OD. I mean,
OD's still there.
Sap
which we've
helping a little
mentioned.
bit, but
yeah.
OD, tons of damage. He can banish people that get dueled, possibly banish people that get chronoed. He could save people from like Razor links as well, banish the Razor, walk away.
That sounds really nice, actually.
Like they've got all these buffing heroes. Why not have some other like massive damage core similar to Gyro that can, as long as they stay separated and don't both get chronosphered, hypothetically one of them should be able to do damage. He just isn't going to lane well against Razor is a negative.
Yeah, I just want some guy that farms a lot and can put out DPS. That's
AM. AM.
I wouldn't be
It's
like
the OD.
Yeah.
We came back to where we started this whole conversation about 5 minutes ago with the OD. Finishing off the draft for Gambit. Very, very interesting draft between the two, but nothing crazy, Will. That's fairly meta, isn't it?
Yeah, everything.
Apart from the Razor, maybe.
That's the one thing about both captains is like they're pretty straightforward in what they have to do.
Yeah, they're not trying to be funky or mind game over mind game. They just want to do the game.
If you see that single target lockdown on the LC on the enemy cores, you don't want to be put in a position where he gets blade mail, he duels your gyro, he dies, and then all of a sudden you have no way to put out damage. Like you need 2 ways to put out damage when you have cores like this in the game.
I think I like the Nip draft a little bit better, though. Gambit has better 5-man death ball with it if they keep the 2 cores separated and don't both get chronosphered, but Nip has more gank options around the map. Like, all of their 5 heroes are going to be useful for trying to make little kills happen, and there aren't a ton of ways where Gambit are going to be able to defend themselves. Like, if it's a solo Abba or a solo Undying, I can see those heroes getting picked off by 2 or 3 enemy heroes. So I think I like the Nip draft a little better myself.
Game 1, just around the corner then. We've had our draft between Gambit and NIP. A reminder for you, all on the line for these two. The winner of the series will finish inside the top 2 and go on to the upper bracket semi-finals later today. Let's find out who takes the advantage with game number 1.
Yes, the advantage is what everyone is searching for. FNG was actually saying in his interview, we've got something prepared. And right now, Kyle, it feels like everyone just prepared to have a good, solid draft, make it nice and even, and just see how we execute going into this first game.
I think captains nowadays are prepared at giving non-answers, so they give nothing away. This is, as you said, very standard. Both these teams, a lot on the line. There is a possibility, I believe, that you could get eliminated from this tournament if you get O2'd, but I think more importantly, these are 2 squads that have higher aspirations than just the middle of the pack. NIP, obviously, you've got a couple of TI winners, some young guns. Gambit, captained up by FNG, the new star player for the squad GPK. These guys want to compete for LAN titles, not just survival. And we see that reflected in the lineups. Very standard from both sides.
You sound very good for BSJ.
What do you mean?
That's who you were for a second on the screen.
Oh, I wish. He's just... he's so attractive, you know?
It's the jawline, right?
It is.
It's the jawline.
You combine that with unparalleled analysis. I mean, the man is a legend in the making.
And,
but
self-deprecating humor. Like, that's something, Kyle, like one day you'll get there.
One day.
You
I really
beat the crap out of yourself for the last game.
I want to pay attention specifically to Skeeter's Void in this game. I've seen there's been a lot of criticism from the community that he's not quite lived up to the hype, much like a player like Nico Baby. And his Void this game is going to be integral if NIP are going to take this game.
And NIP actually may even be able to take first blood if they can keep on top of Shashlo. A lot of damage gets stolen, but PPD doesn't have a secondary controller. It's just a battle for the ruins instead. Razor, I want to say a fun hero, but
No,
he actually, for me, like he just balls the crap out of me. It's like, well, where's my damage? Well, I take it from everybody else. Okay, that's terrific. What else do you do? I tank and I move fast. Okay, that's it. But it's a very solid hero for NIP. Difficult for Gambit just to instantly delete or remove.
That is true. There is no way to remove Link, Toby. You've got that right.
Yay, mechanic.
It is a great Razor game in the sense that you always want to be in a scenario where any of the 3 cores are good drain targets. Obviously, the gyro is preferred, but you don't mind sucking away a Baden either.
I like the way GBK can deal with it. You saw the Queen of Pain being banned out 5th by NIP. It's like, okay, well, that's that blink away from safety. Now the OD just imprisons and walks it off. It's less instant, but it's still guaranteed escape. Bottom lane, Shashlo being initiated on once again, using that Frost Shield just to slow down the Abaddon. There's no extra control from XS Vampire just yet, because he doesn't have level 2 on that Rubik.
This is such a great lane. Any carry hero with a form of mobility combined with Lich is excellent. You just leap forwards, Frost Shield applied, all of a sudden, Void's getting slow off from just standing near, and then if you hit the bash, maybe you find a kill on top. Not to mention, of course, Lich having another nuke that provides slow and damage. So very high DPS from these 2 heroes.
Chain control as well as resist. It seems like a fantastic hero to play. The only downside is like when he gets a little too passive. But at least now he's got like Sinister Gaze as an ability. I say now, he's obviously had that for a while, but it wasn't always that way.
Another great point, Toby.
Thanks,
he has
Kyle.
been changed considerably in patches.
I just feeling that simmer. My God.
I'm trying to stay positive.
Go quote a book, Kyle.
Do you see how these lanes turn out? Mid is the one I'm watching right now. OD Razor. It's Razor favored for sure, but as you said, you know, OD can deal with the Link. You just have to save Astro for it. You also have an ability to push the wave. Razor can, but it takes a bit longer. I hope that Gunnar goes for that max current build. I love the farming build from Razors. We saw Thompson popularize this all the way back at TI, where at level 7, you just start stacking everything. You farm so fast that it's incredibly efficient.
You're going to watch this rinse and repeat in every single lane. The top lane at least has a little bit more bite to it if FNG can get a lot of hits on the decay. Because that's why you see like Dream, like he first killed Flat Cannon's like, okay, well I got two double decays, let me Flat Cannon up. But a Legion Commander is like, okay, I'm not even going to go even a single point impress the attack. Like this is one moment, one overwhelming odds, making sure this lane isn't pushing against him.
Yeah, this is the aggro build. Helps when you have a hero like Lena behind you. You apply a ton of pressure and damage if someone were to overstep. It's actually quite impressive they've done so well up top. They are against an Undying. Arguably the strongest safe lane supporter you could pick, and FNG is adept at the hero.
But that Undying pickup always seems to be a lot better when you're up against a tri-lane, when you're able to force it. But the only way FNG could have done that is if they went off lane with the Undying as well. But you just don't get the damage into bottom. In fact, Skidder is jumping in. Here goes your Frost Shield. Again, trying to slow down the Abaddon. But your shield was already up, and underneath the tier 1 tower with a creep wave is just a little bit too aggressive from NIP. But Rubik is moving off. He's got his own Observer Ward down. There is a defensive ward in mid for NIP, but it's very close to the mid lane.
Yeah, thankfully Gunnar just picked up a regen, so he's going to be full HP. Very tough to gank with a Rubik, and yeah, you can see him just back out immediately. No reason to get involved there. Go help out your Abaddon, who will most likely look to suicide soon. Needs to get a bit lower, however. In fact, I wonder if it'd be worth it to just go to the Ancients, take some damage, and then deny yourself to them. Like using your Q, of course, but to ensure that you got low enough.
Yeah, you shouldn't lose the wave. Like, that's the upside of the Rubik. You Fade Bolt from range, you can drag the creep wave back anyway. But with the 5-minute bounty runes about to spawn, they've already missed that opportunity. So Shaslo, he is very, very low on life, and Skidder's going to get both of the bounty runes on bottom. Biva's going to get both of the bounty runes up on top, so it's a good day at the office for NIP. It's payday.
Yeah. Very static game so far, kind of to be expected from the draft. Both teams sort of testing one another. No one really taking any big risks or chances in either the strategy or the gameplay thus far. I don't even think we've seen a rotation. This Rubik placing a win mid-ward is the first we've seen.
You're trying to get it from him. Like, it's a smoke up from Vampire. Gunnar is low, but he's just had a South fly in.
He's going to just farm up that medium camp. Razor, I like a lot more on Dire. I know you can take this one camp to your right, but if you look up top, like when you're playing Dire side Razor, you can effectively clear all 4 camps. You clear 3 and stack 1. Every single spawn once you hit level 7. As Radiant, it's a lot more difficult to play that efficiently because you have to do this cross mid maneuver to get from the 2 camps top to the 2 camps bottom. It's much less efficient.
At least Biva shows us how it's done. Both successfully stacked. And back to the 6-minute 0-0, but Biva and Universe try and do something about it, going after Dream. I decided to just take care of the homing missile instead. A lot of damage on the bottom, hard to do through the Fade bot too, but Shashlo, they will put it to the test, into the trees, but a pick up and throw away by Vampire gives the Abaddon the space he needs.
Surprised they didn't go for the gaze there from PPD. I think they might have had the damage to finish him off. Instead, they will force the south. Like the Oov on Shaklo, this used to be an impossible matchup for the Abaddon, but now that your Curse of Avernus has that silence effect after you get the few hits off, it forces Void to play more conservatively if you start trading with him. I'm surprised he didn't look to max it, though. I really think that spell is the one you want to put points in ASAP. Second point in shield instead. It's only a 30 damage increase in comparison to the 5% slow and the 10% increase in curse slow once you get all those attacks off.
And I think the stacks are really starting to build up inside the Dire jungle. I don't know who's going to take it. Universe is getting aggressive as well up on top lane. Biva hoping for a stun. Even enough. Oh, okay. Shashlo. There's your Sinister Gaze coming out. Keep him in the trees. He can't shield in time. In fact, he tried to miscoil and deny himself. That's why I didn't think that was really going to go very far, but just getting locked. Can't get that hit off.
He unfortunately let Skeeter leap towards the side shop to pursue, which meant he was able to finish the treads. Swaps to Agi immediately, gets the bash right away. Too much damage for him to deal with. And that's the power of the Lich Void, right? You cannot stay down here by yourself. There's just too much lockdown.
God, Universe, they got the pick up. That's why the space was created on the bottom, because Vampire TP to the top, but he stayed inside the Fog of War, never revealed himself. And now they get the rebuttal kill into Universe. But very wisely for Gunnar now, they are able to clean up the big stack.
And you can see how farmed he's getting already. 66 and 14 on this Razor. Top 2 net worth so far, both on the side of NIP. And the downside of this Gambit lineup, look at their heroes. Who gets involved? Who changes the status quo? We've seen this a lot. Now that 4 positions have moved off of the typical roamers, the Tusks, the Earth Spirits, the Spirit Breakers, now we've got these heroes like Rubik. He needs level 6 before he can really get involved. You've got an Undying, you've got an Abaddon. These are 2 do-nothing heroes. OD is not in a position to really make plays either. He's just going to farm the jungle. But you're not going to outpace NIP if you allow this game to just stay even. Be curious to see how they look to make moves here.
Well, I see Gambit to fight underneath their towers, play from a position of strength. Well, the Undying, damn it, he needs a tombstone. Yeah, get some levels up. Universe and PPD hoping to force some kind of issue on the top. And there's the TP coming from the Undying. They're ready to fight Gambit underneath their own towers. But it's leaving this situation on bottom, like Abaddon, who's still half a level away from hitting 6. Then he won't care so much about the chrono. But he can still just get zoned out of the lane.
Just pretty much everybody trading farm. Gambit 4 heroes concentrated in this top half of the map. Buddy with a nice stack, he'll pick that up. What's he going for? Looks like a Kaya first item. Something that Sumail was fond of as well when he was playing in the mid lane. He always said that when he had that Kaya-Yasha combination, he just felt good. OD is such a slow hero. You don't really get attack speed from any of the items you pick up. Always nice to get the casual pickup. I like it a lot more than what we've seen in the past. You know, I'd rather a Yasha at some point than a Midas early. I think that OD doesn't really need the XP enough to make that item warranted. Top bounty runes in 10. Yep. They're thinking about getting aggro here.
NIP is definitely not going to do that.
Or are they?
Oh man, OD has moved over as well. So Gyrocop, the first one to be started up on. They have enough control to just force NIP away from Dream, but maybe with the overwhelming odds. Movement speed of Universe. He's thinking about coming back in again, but the pick up over on the Razor. He's level 10. How much have you got with the Sinister Gaze? He's got to drop the hammer right now. Able to do so. FNG and GBK, however, both go down. NIP, they just stand their ground. Gunnar has the double kill, and he's looking for the triple. When the duel comes down, the Plaza Field will connect, and Gunnar has a triple kill. Trying to hide in the tree lines to press the attack. Not enough regeneration in time. Rupik is the one who will claim the rebuttal at least.
And I was gonna say, I was surprised. Like, I was gonna say, I know you're 3-on-4 here, Nip, but Razor is level 10. Gunnar is so strong. He's got 1,300 health on Agi treads. At the full stick, the hammer drops, sure, but you can't fight this. This is Gambit's issue, right? They don't have any real damage right now. They don't even have points in Tombstone. You cannot engage against heroes this tanky. Top, Lich ult.
Yep, you have to hold him close towards the wave. Rubik, is it going to bounce back up to him? It will not, and press the attack will give him some extra life. Just to survive back behind his tier 1 tower. But they're coming once again, NIP.
Dire's top tower is under
And already Vampire is leaving. They turn their attention to bottom. Gambit after the tier 1 tower on bottom. If they can claim that, sure, Skitter does have Chronosphere. Does he have any kind of TP support moving away from the Tombstone? Skitter, yeah, okay, he's not going to risk it. Just a straight TP out.
I really dislike this TP though. I don't think he should be coming up top. You already have 2 cores in this area. You're effectively just gonna get here to watch the tower die. Would have liked to see him go to maybe bottom shrine just to perhaps be able to make a play with his Lina that's got ultimate active. You kind of over-rotate now, and this will force one of Nip's heroes, most likely Gunnar, to move elsewhere. So it's just like over-rotation when you could have just been a bit more efficient.
Unless they're going to push the issue to the tier 2 tower on top, that's the only reason why. But you got to force a fight then. And you will see a TP coming from Shashlo.
Yeah. Nothing major, nothing. There's just no real action around the map. We had 1 fight thus far, but everybody in this game seems content to just farm away. Skeeter pinging up top along with PPD. They're thinking about going for the Abaddon here, but they are all underneath this nice Dire ward that was placed inside their own woods. I saw, Kuro did this a lot throughout last season, especially at TI. Surprised that more teams don't do it. And yeah, you guys, you can't do that to an Abaddon, folks.
Yeah, looking to leap and Chrono. Didn't even get him to skill.
Yeah. I think a lot of players, especially even in just casual viewers, overemphasize the importance of deep wards. It's like, oh, I got it in enemy territory. But the problem is nowadays, all teams are trying to do their best to stay on the enemy side of the map. So if they're not playing under their wards, it doesn't really help you much.
Vampire's making it very difficult just to take this tier 1 tower. So Universe will tank it. The level 2 press the attack. Still in the hands of Vampire as well.
Yeah, NIP just camping around their void inside the enemy jungle. They know they've got Chrono. Not much you can be able to do to contest if you're Gambit here.
It does feel like one of those other games that, like, okay, Jarakopter not having a great start, now under recovery, farming up inside the jungle. Things are looking okay. We can contest a little bit for our jungle, but
yeah. The issue we saw in that previous game, right? When you have an OD, or rather any of these squishier high damage cores, Skeeter just has to Chrono him.
yeah.
There's no real save. You've got a lot of heal for him, but if NIP just all in this OD, like where's the damage from Gambit going to come from? The whole lineup's built to support these 2 high DPS cores in the Gyro and the OD. If one of them dies to these very easy single target disables, you've got Duel as well, not to mention the Lich ulti that can pop on either that or the Chrono. It's just very difficult to play these team fights and come out ahead if you're Gambit. You definitely need initiation advantage, which they might find in this side of their own Radiant jungle.
NIP are looking for themselves. The smoke around. Is it going to break? Gyrocopter already used his flying cannon, practically used everything. Yule scepted up into the air. And the Chronosphere, that feels like a very heavy commitment for something which is happening almost like it's deep inside your own jungle.
You have an active shrine. You have Peter standing there ready to stun. Biver coming from the low ground. I'm going to say that was an intimidation technique.
Okay, alpha move.
Exactly.
Alpha move. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like, well, if you're not going to fight us for a very long time, maybe if I burn this Chrono, maybe you will come and fight us. But it's the 15-minute bounty runes that are spawning up. The Tombstone from FNG will protect the bottom runes. And then up on top, Abaddon trying to get his own one, but Shashlo will not be so lucky.
This is what I mean, though, Tobes. Like, there's no actual playmaker for Gambit. And playing games like this, especially, you got to imagine, for a team from this region, right? If there's something we associate with CIS, it's aggression, it's playmaking. What do you do?
But
who does stuff?
FNG was also one of the players on that Virtus Pro lineup, the one which was like, we're going to actually question this, because it was all set by Na'Vi, like the guys who will just dive you no matter what. And then Virtus Pro kind of changed the tempo of CIS by coming in and saying, actually, we'll play aggressive when we need to. But if it's not advantageous, we're not going to do it. And
maybe this is how it starts. We've got a Blink Dagger just complete on the OD. Finally, you've got somebody that can actually get out and land a stun on somebody.
But he also feels like the saver for anyone who goes inside the, like if the Chronosphere happens.
Yeah. And you're going to have a BKB on Gunner. He's already halfway there. Once you pick that up, there's actually nothing Gambit can do in terms of damage to this Razor. Already at 2,000 HP. He pops invulnerability and links the gyro. That's it. He's out of the fight. He's got nothing to do but run away. They're going to try and play bottom. FNG backing up GPK. But you really want to dive onto Peter?
Yeah, he's not the hero you're looking for, but with the Dire Observer wards placed down with their sentries too, this is where Gambit feel the best. It's not really attacking into PPD, it's continuously adding pressure to the tier 2 towers. There's some level of trade. Skid has done so much damage to this top tower with a catapult wave. Like, you get a Baden up here, but the tower's already down around 600 HP. And nowhere near that level of damage has been done to the NIP safe lane tier 2. And how long did the teams just accept this? It's like, okay, we're going to poke and prod at your towers. Eventually, someone's going to have to do something.
Oh no, Peter. He had placed 2 sentries, didn't find a ward, and unfortunately walks right past the Dire ward to already get a counter. That is so frustrating as a support. He's like, all right.
Now I know.
I see how this is.
Oh, wait, he can actually... Well, okay, yeah, blink away. GPK is getting out.
Yeah.
At least, okay, so yeah, he got the other hillside observer ward. So both those observer wards are gone for Gambit.
That's just one of those. I've lived through that. It's one of those. You're just like, really? Really? You're going to do this to me? You really want to lose your ward? All right, we'll trade.
Oh, top. Chasing nice Skitter into the trees. There's that extra range coming in from the Ether lens, but there's a lot of extra help. Imprisonment and the Lion Strike Array. Not the greatest combination arriving, but it works now. And that combination is good. It's good when you've got them, but yeah, just the missed timing.
More importantly, now Rubik has Lina stun, which with no cast animation, which is quite nice. And all of a sudden, Gambit perhaps have the tools to make a move. Do they have a smoke? No, they do not.
That is a negative.
Felt like they were about to, right? They grouped up for one. FNG's like, no, what do you mean, guys?
Does anyone have one? Anyone? No? All right.
Bounty runes aren't for another 2 minutes. Probably want to wait for those. Skeeter approaching his BKB as well. You got to be cautious with Gambit once they pick these items up. Both your big damage dealers are mixed. You don't have that ability to penetrate BKBs and actually find kills on anybody. You actually have absolutely 0 BKB piercing disable on top of that. So Nip will be in full control once they complete these items. A Blade Mail first item on Uni. This is very odd. I think the first time I've seen this in the tournament, typically you see LCs, especially if they play with a hero like Void, they're going Solar Crest early on. They're getting a Medallion, maybe a Pipe at a point. These support style items, not the individual playmaking of a Blade Mail into Blink.
If he can make it work, they're going to look for a duel up on top of Baden. Then again, no, you're not. There's borrowed time of Baden up. So this doesn't happen. I suppose that's your other thing, like who am I going to jump on that I can guarantee I get when you're up against the OD, so I get that sustain in the fight instead. PPD pulling back the Abaddon. He still has not triggered borrowed time. And while this is happening, GPK, he's farming up his Lincoln Sphere down on bottom. Gyrocopter's farming
Lincoln
up.
Sphere?
He is going for
his
a
Lincoln Sphere.
Yep.
All right, I mean, I guess you can remove the dual aspect, but still you're going to get Chronosphered.
How many ways, like it can potentially stop Link as well, unless Gunner's going to burn his Eul Scepter. Like there's some things which kind of mess with the synergy of NIP, and they don't have easy ways just to get rid of it.
Sure, it just it's 5,000 gold to.
Hey, great stats, great regeneration. We're thinking on the upside here. It's what this thing can do, not can't do.
All right.
But you can question it once it's gone wrong.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Hindsight's
I'm sorry, I need data. I need data before we can start analyzing this, please. I
will say Nip, the big advantage for their draft that I felt they had was that they could make moves, right? They could use the Chrono. They could find kills with Duel with their 2 high disable supports. But they've allowed this game to just drag on. The advantage hasn't changed.
Well, we'll get a lot of damage out of the Abaddon right now in mid lane. Remember, they won't find the kill. Borrowed time will still do its work, but that is a Razor with plus 217 damage.
Yeah, they just don't have that super late game advantage. Their core is a razor against an OD. At some point, GPK becomes the most powerful hero in this game. And they have both BKBs complete. I hope that they use them to go make some moves here as the courier brings voids out as we speak. The smoke is ready along with wards for PPD. So I'm imagining he's got that same read on the game. Let's get something done here and now.
I'm also seeing smoke on FNG. A lot of group up around the Dire Shrine, but for the moment, they just keep the waves back out again. It looks like NIP want to finish their Ancient Stack farming first, having to use Legion Commander and Phaser's Void and Razor and Lich to get this done.
This will finish. Nope, not quite. Uni still needs a little bit of gold for that Blink Dagger. It just feels like that next item syndrome, right? Where you're like, okay, I got my B, I'm Razor, I got my BKB, I'm ready to go. Oh, hang on, let's wait for voids. All right, we got that. Oh, hang on, we need the Blink on LC. Wait for that.
They've got their counter. We need to be one item up at all times.
Yeah.
Like there's a 4-staff now coming out from the Abaddon, so they've got easier ways to actually deal with the Link too. So position-wise, maybe Gambit can actually win that battle. The BKB is there for a Dream, coming on the courier at the moment. Aether Lens is coming faster as well for Vampire, but NIP will smoke up. They're going to try and do something with what they've got. And who are they going to walk into? Hi, FNG. Here's your Blink. There's your duel. Is there a save? There's not. There's just a complete disengage, and he self-heals us.
Unfortunate, but hey, PBD's like, all right, we get a kill. He'll see the sentry down. Now he can most likely look to place a deeper ward. In fact, he is. He's in a great position right now. You got to be so careful if you're Gambit. Nip are lurking to your left.
They don't see the Gyrocopter and the Rubik, however. Like, they're hiding under the cover of the smoke. And Abaddon just walks up, gets some information. Here comes your call down. Disengage. Time walking away. Undying is still dead for 6 seconds and has a lot of places to TP out to.
Yeah, this is dangerous now because you've used your duel, and as you said, Undying teleporting into a fight on his own shrine, so dangerous because there's great high grounds to drop Tomb on immediately.
But you got it up in 8 seconds time. So Universe with Invis Rune is hunting for that opportunity. And if he can duel, I suppose like he can't duel the OD because the Lincoln's is done, but this target, this one he can duel. Gyrocopter, FNG wants to help out. Tombstone, plus going into the ultimate. How much damage have they got? GPK, he imprisons, and we have ourselves a pause. Vampire needed to take a moment as Rubik is lagging up.
Two big concerns now for Gambit. That Tombstone is not on the high ground, and the Gyrocopter is in the nether realm for the time being, but he's going to be very upset when he comes back out of it. I'm fairly certain Gambit just got to go.
They got to shield and 4-staff him instantly, and then he can BKB. Like, he has that BKB in the inventory ready to go.
No damage.
OD has a level 2 Eclipse, but there's no int built up. So here we go. Timing breaks off. Tombstone, will they focus that one down to begin with? They're trying to get rid of it at the moment. Chronosphere in the back lines. OD's being controlled. Chrono stolen out by Vampire. Who's he want to put it on? He puts it on the Razor, who's inside the BKB. He has nothing else he can really do here. Undying is slowly being chipped away by the Leaner and will be the first one to die in this battle. But of course, the int had built up. So Sandy's Eclipse kills off Gunner. Yeah. This is a well worth trade here for Gambit.
And mostly just because Skeeter decided to solo Chrono and OD with near 2,000 health, completely isolated from the rest of his allies. If he just holds that, sticks on the main target, the Gyrocopter, he would have had to follow up Chrono onto the Rubik. Look, he's going to leap up with his BKB. Look, there's 4 heroes down. Instead, you just give the Chronosphere away. He doesn't even dilate afterwards so that it ensures the Gyro's escape. That is the wrong move.
It definitely created problems for NIP as the fight continued on. And Gambit, well, with the space of Razor going down, they add some pressure to the tier 1 tower in mid. They'll be able to claim it. And now the next wave of items, they start to come in a little bit faster for Gambit. The advantage for net worth was in favor of NIP, about 4,000 before that fight began. And the graph swings the other way, heading downhill.
That is, this is the concern when you kind of do nothing for 15 minutes with an advantage and the ability to find kills. You've allowed the game to equalize. Gyro had his BKB. That's part of the reason he escaped. If that move was made a minute or two previously, they'd have beaten him to the item pickup. He's dead for sure. Instead, escapes with ease. Now you're in a scenario where the OD is top of the net worth charts with a 2K lead. He went for that greedy item pickup early on. The Kaya helps him accelerate rapidly, and I don't know what you're going to do here if you're NIP. When are you trying to win this game?
Yep.
Because it looks to me, when I see 2 of my cores buying Black King Bar as their second item, I'm trying to win the game at that timing. And if you lose the fight you're supposed to win, it's like, okay, back to the drawing board, folks.
And now your timings later in the game get harder and harder as the BKB duration gets lower and lower. A perfect situation for the OD. Who's able to survive a lot of these engagements. Like, I'm not going to say because of the Lincoln Sphere, it's mainly because of the positioning that seems to be happening in the fights, but the items are still coming in. He's got the ultimate orb up, building towards that scythe.
Now we have mass teleports into the bottom lane. There's 4 NIP heroes that are going to chase after X-Vampire.
But right underneath the Dire Observer Ward that got planted down. Gambit also, thanks to that Dire Observer Ward, I think they actually saw the second Radiant Ward get planted. If they were watching the inventory, they would be very well aware of it. But 5 heroes from Gambit with a Tombstone dropping, NIP just disengage.
I mean, there's no...
Okay,
Gambit still can't pick their own fights, right? They do have a Chronosphere on Rubik with that Aether Lens. So you got to be a bit cautious if you're NIP, but that's part of the reason they just backed out of there immediately. They smoke right towards top. Void has that top lane pushed almost to the tier 3. So if Dream isn't careful, he could just find himself dueled or chronoed into an immediate push by Nip, but wisely retreats back into the base as Nip looked to swing around now. Void, of course, has TP.
Very wise decision from FNG to go the other way. Abaddon, however, they jump in. They need that initiation. Overall, OD the chrono! Rubik still has it! He locks all 3 of NIP in position! They had the OD, and then they have nothing. They have Undying. But it seems like FNG is still very willing to give his life time and time again. XS Vampire just gets the TP away to safety. A support instead of an OD.
That is not ideal. The Lincoln's pays off as well. He absorbed the duel, though I do believe Rubik would have been able to save him regardless.
It allowed him to move away. Like, that Chronosphere was in the perfect position.
Gave him those extra steps. It looked like they tried to synergize the Yols with the duel immediately, but unfortunately just wasn't able to get it off in time. Mjolnir the next choice for Skeeter. He'll be able to finish that in just a moment. There's the gold.
Vampire needs new ability. Yeah, take plasma field. That's a good clearance if you can just see him for a second.
I think he's gonna get it.
It's gonna be in range though. Pro doesn't also want to reveal the fact there's a Dire Obs on the hill. Something the Radiant can't see, even though their Sentry Ward is in range. While all this keeps going on too, GPK's just up on the top lane. Like he's approaching level 20. His net worth is through the roof.
This is a game of Dota, right? Because it's 8-4. It's almost 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is Riot expanding?
Don't get me started.
Roshan. Now NIP need to get over here if they want to try and contest it. Gambit. They feel pretty good. Like
5 heroes under the sword. They know what's up.
There's Chronosphere, which is up for it. I mean, they have everything they need to have this big fight, but because no one from Gambit is defending the bottom lane, not enough messages have been sent. Roshan is taking forever for Gambit to finish. They've been at this for about a minute now. So Faceless Void comes up. The tier 3 tower is being hit. OD's added pressure towards the top. Now the TPs are coming back. And Vampire Fadeball strikes the creep wave off. There's no fortification, but you have an Aegis Immortal in the hands of the Gyrocopter. FNG barely living. Gunner clips him a little bit. And now press the attack is stolen.
That's huge. That's so huge. You can remove dilation, stuns, lich spells, plus the attack speed steroid on 2 cores that love some faster hits.
And 2 cores that really want to try and fight now too. Like an Aghanim Scepter, BKB, and Aegis Gyrocopter. He's kind of ready to go. And the OD is only a couple of hundred away from completing his scythe. And GPK, like, he didn't even come back. Like, he's like, I need to stay up on top lane. I need to finish this, and then we're good.
We'll finish what? What item?
The scythe.
I thought you meant NIP. I'm like, at this point, what item is...
I'm meaning GPK, the guy farming top lane, to farm up the remainder part of his big disable.
And what have they been saying for how long? What are they missing? An ability to find kills. Suddenly your OD is able to find kills all by his lonesome.
Doesn't care about a BKB unless Skidder can get it off in time.
Yep. He's going to go finish his Hex right now at the secret shop, I think. Does he have the gold for it? Believe so.
Yeah, he does. Barely. 20 short, but 20 excess. But now he's going to be short of his buyback by about 1,400. But it won't matter if you're able to get that start off in the fight. Under the cover of smoke, which will wear off in 2 seconds, they move towards Roshan, who's already dead.
Dream showing bottom, so Nip are lured into the false sense of security. They gotta be cautious.
FNG sees so much, and with the time walk up, Universe has to blink himself away. It was all for the 30-minute bounty runes.
That could have been so bad for NIP. Gambit had a great move there, just a little delayed on the rotation because it's all about the vision. Nip see that Gyro with Aegis is all the way bot. They don't expect that 4 heroes from Gambit are in spitting distance, but unfortunately just weren't able to get their time. If FNG perhaps had taken a little more aggressive route, gets a high ground tomb down, cancels some blinks, perhaps things go differently, but alas, not the case. Halberd also complete on Gunner. That's going to be big. It's not just the Lincoln's cancel, but it's a huge damage reduction for both the Gyro and the OD if he's able to get it off successfully.
Yeah, and OD hates building into things that counter that level of evasion. He's going for a Hurricane Pike instead, as well as a Smoke. Teaming up together with the Rubik, trying to get him closer for initiation target. And this is something which Gunner does not want to be on the front line to get caught out by. FNG's arriving too. If he just drops, okay, Observer Ward, Tombstone being planted, and well, a quick throwaway. Universe caught in the back lines. GPK is already starting off. A quick banishment. Actually, I don't think that's what he wanted to do. It really slowed down the start of this fight, but maybe it won't matter if Universe will still die down for 50 seconds. They'll take it. He has 16 intel stolen, and then bring the attention to the tier 2 tower in mid. It's just so weird though when you see an entire team starting an engagement. Oh my god, Razor. Like starting an engagement, then you imprison, you stop.
Yeah.
Your fight.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Hey, this is all Gambit now. I actually don't know how Nip take a fight any longer. The cores are strong enough to live through the chrono. You've got Aegis. Abaddon has that Vlad's medallion. What's your move? What?
Your move is to send Void to the top lane to farm. Finish up a Daedalus. And now GPK starts his own battle. He steals so much of that install, and 2 orbs and the hammer will do the work. But back in the mid lane where Gyrocopter gets initiated on, he'll then turn his attention over towards Gunner with a call down from Dream. He wants to find, he has lost 70 of his damage, and the duel from Universe will hold Dream in position. They don't have enough ways to keep him alive. But then again, Aegis the Immortal, who needs it anyway? With Laguna Blade stolen, they have some good damage. Another fresh Tombstone being planted as Dream's BKB retreat wants to keep going. Skitter, Chronosphere is out. Now he time dilates. Vampire didn't steal anything. He's still holding that Laguna, waiting for his target, but the Gyrocopter will die a second time over. Razor is low, but he can't be picked off. In fact, his Legion Commander jumping towards Vampire over on the tree lanes. Now he's able to pick him off. It took a while with the Force Off. He'll dodge the Light Strike Array. Even GPK tipping him at the end of this fight.
Oh,
but it feels so weirdly scrappy from Gambit to do this.
But it's honestly, it's all on GPK. I hope we have a replay of this because that's a great move from Gambit, but he stopped to farm. Look at where he is. He found the kill on Void, and now he's just farming. Go cut the next wave. He needs to be here. Gyro is going to respawn. GPK is still not looking to move towards it. If he's just closer, he's going to get here in time to be able to OD save this Gyro, obviously not through the BKB, but like, he'd be able to kill stuff. He's here with the Hex, perhaps. You're going to be at least able to get counter kills. He just got distracted, a little discombobulated. Now he's dueled.
Yep, welcome back to live. OD being pushed away. He'll have buyback available, and they'll have to commit it if they want to hold this tier 3 tower. Fortification from Gambit. Rubik with Baybot would be able to slow this one down. FNG just has to start with a decay. Pull the creep wave up, but maybe they have enough. They don't have to buy back on the OD. Gyrocopter will respawn, and NIP will be happy with taking the tier 3 tower and start removing shrines on the map. They are being punished, Gambit, for the indiscretions in mid lane.
It's one error after another. Now all of a sudden you take a huge win and then lose a shrine, a tier 3, and Gambit now they're going to need to make some plays to get back in control of this game.
Well, Gambit were the ones who were meant to be doing that. Like, they had the Aegis of the Immortal.
Oh, it's
not meant to go this way.
It's so frustrating as well, because like that was such a great play by GPK. He finds the solo kill, and you can tell the rest of his team is playing like they've got a man advantage. They're looking to press this edge, and instead, it's like, oh wait, he's still not here. You expect that you're going to be collapsing as 5 to be able to secure those objectives, and you can't blame the rest of his team for thinking next kill. How many times do we see TNC do that in this tournament?
Yep. But now they have to deal with the fact that all outer buildings have been removed. Makes the next Roshan very difficult. He may respawn in just under 2 minutes. So Gambit now have to work even harder to push out the side lanes. Blink, duel forward, Undying, FNG deleted. Universe adding in more damage now at plus 72 for him. Oh, you got Laguna again. He'll take it.
How much damage is that gonna do?
The 650 with the amp.
857.49. That's level 2 as well. When it's 3, it'll be a decent amount of deeps.
So the way Gambit try and deal with the fights, Aghanim Scepter is the build coming in for Abaddon too.
And there's an Ags on the Lina. I really like this decision. You're playing up against 2 BKB cores, and you have a Chronosphere, right? No longer is the Gyro safe. Half of his HP pool is going to be just immediately dismantled as it slices through, and that should be enough to help Skeeter finish off one of those kills within the Chrono, because they do have sustain through it, but there is no hard save with the exception of that OD Imprison, which will not pierce the BKB. So it's actually better for Dream to use that late so that he can actually get saved from the damage.
That does not feel like it's the right way that's meant to go down, but you're right. Pure damage Laguna. An issue that Gambit will have to deal with. But NIP finding their ways to start the fight. Universe really being freed up to get his own jump with the double halberds. Gambit not finding that reliable damage anymore. And someone cut that tree on the side. There's an observer ward that 2 heroes were standing so close they could smell the stick. And it's in range of 2 sentry wards as well, and they still haven't claimed it. There's no way for him to know unless they cut a tree.
Notable in this game is going to be the assistance items, right? If you look at the damage amplification in terms of utility, there's a Vlad's and a Solar on Gambit. Neither item picked up by NIP. It's a lot of damage they're going to be missing. Also consider when he applies that defensively onto his OD, the plus armor. You know, it's just keeping people alive through the Chrono. Gambit's kill window is within the sheepstick. That is 22 seconds CD. The Void Chrono 140, and he went for a Daedalus. That is very odd. You typically don't see that item pickup. I think even a Butterfly could have been great in this game. We've seen Manta Diffusal do work as well, perhaps a bit late for that, but Daedalus is very ballsy. It means that once the Gyro picks up a Butterfly, probably after that Satanic he's got queued up now, all of a sudden you're going to have regrets.
All right, so everyone grouped up, 5-on-5. Better vision for NIP as far as knowing what's about to go down. And we'll even have ourselves a pause so we can think about it as Gunnar is DC'd out. I think we actually had an issue on the server because I got kicked out around exactly the same time. So not that terrific. But he's already back inside the game. NIP, feeling cool, calm.
It's like watching one of those chess matches, right? A minute or 4 between each move. Everyone overanalyzing the position. What will they do next?
Like we get to watch this this bottom again. That OD getting caught out. We missed the start of that one because we were watching a replay before. So don't worry, we got you covered. Production's on it.
38 minutes now. Still just 20 kills across the board. Both teams just sort of trading opportunities to stand on their high grounds and wait. As anybody who's seen enough of them...
Hey, I know a great way we can scout. Send a fake in.
Yep, they're there, guys.
Yep. Confirmed.
Back to our high ground.
Confirmed.
Quick.
But we could fight them. We could fight them.
I didn't know I was watching a Star Wars prequel. I thought this was Dota. As I say it, they got the ward. Big win there for NIP. Back to the high ground. Retreat. Cover and move.
It really is low. They killed a ward. Yeah.
Hang on.
Critical. Yes.
Now they're going to scan. Roche is still in up. Gunner's like, hang on, let me check up here. Kill this mid wave.
This is Kyle's intensity casting. And now, NIP
great.
Retreating to their high ground.
Oh, hang on. Guys, where are they?
I don't know. FNG looks down the hill.
Hey, at least they learned, all right?
Everything the light touches.
It's been Fright Night marathons. You know, everybody watching enough scary movies. What's rule number 1, Toby?
Don't watch a scary movie.
No, don't split up. Always stay together.
That's true. Stay in a well-lit area.
That too.
Don't open a door to check what the noise was. Stay clear of bathrooms.
Oh, we got initiation.
Oh boy, there's your jump forward. Rubik, goodbye. Roshan is up. He'll buy back quickly.
Gotta get
As
out of here.
Razor, well, yeah, he's been glimmer caped up. They don't have detections. That's why Gunnar can just keep the run going. And Joshlo feeling like he's going a very long way forward. Press the attack, breaks Gunnar free. Now the tombstone is down, and with the attack, GPK need to attack a little bit more. They need more detection. Once again, there's Glimmer Cape going to work. Sinister Case holding Abaddon in position. And NIP continue to disengage away from the tombstone of Gambit.
Bounty runes are up.
Money, money, money. Gunnar. Invis room for Dream.
A 2-for-2 exchange. There is a DD bottom, though. Perhaps this is an opportunity for Gambit to get aggressive here.
Oh, Dream's going to get it.
He's got Reaver as well once he clears his Ancient Camps. That'll be a full Satanic.
It'll be nice for him, but the buyback, do you really want to have it on cooldown? Is the Satanic that important coming into Roshan?
I guess not.
He's got to think about it. NIP under the cover of smoke, coming for their warding mission. Sentry's already down. Abaddon will be the man to run forward with a Quelling Blade, gets rid of it nice and quickly with a pickup over on Universe. Threw around the tree line. Gunner's already burned that BKB. Remember, it's a low duration one, and maybe they can actually start turning onto him in just a second. FNG keeping the Soul Rip into the Abaddon. He still hasn't had that borrowed time trigger, and now Dream with a new tombstone going to work. Skidder looking for the Chronosphere. He's got the Gyrocopter. They'll bring him down as well. Chronosphere stolen by Vampire, but what can he really do? They're all too close together, so he has to get the Legion Commander, buying time for Odie to get that defensive imprisonment, getting Gyrocopter back to the front lines and giving some time to escape. No, it won't happen. Odie will go down. He'll commit his buyback as well, and Dream really feeling like the damage is wanting, but he'll have enough to get through Gunner to move to Skidder, who time walks away to safety.
Double buyback on both cores, though, from Gambit. That's a huge expenditure. They lost that fight in devastating fashion.
But they would have had to anyway. Roshan would have been the easy target if they didn't bring him up.
It's because NIP have the high ground. Gambit forced to run up, but NIP are prepared. And like Obi-Wan, Skeeter strikes. Immediately they find those kills. A great duel on the side from Universe to prevent the defense of Astral. So Gyro dies without really accomplishing much of anything within the fight.
Roshan begins. They're trying to force the buyback on Razor. They're able to get it as well. Biva looking for the stun, able to claim it onto Dream. Who's away?
Now the buybacks have been traded. And we're back to normality. Everybody.
Five-man stand-up around Roshan. Oh, I'm liking this one. Academ Scepter is done on the Abaddon, and he's running forward on 1,000 HP. Come at me, bro. Who have you got nearby? PPD drops the Observe.
Yep.
What breaks the smoke at FNG? That's not real, boys.
It's all about ensuring his cores survive the chrono and the duel. We just saw how those abilities are able to take out both of his teammates. Now he knows, look, I will tank for you. I will just get nearby. 40% damage reduction on all heroes nearby.
I wonder where the OD is when he blinks and hexes the illusion.
Sorry, they've changed this since the last time I've seen it pick up. So while borrowed time is active, anytime an ally takes more than 525 damage while within 1600 range of Abaddon, an individual mist coil will automatically fly towards that ally.
Yes,
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That was a while. I know it was
a while ago. I'm just saying.
It happened at TI, I think. I remember Fogged was talking about it, saying like, man, this crap is so OP.
Look, Toby, some of the viewers don't know that. I'm just trying to explain it as if I'm learning with them.
Hey, I meant to take that perspective here, man. Like, I'm the one that asks the questions of every Joe Blow.
Yeah. And also, Gambit, if you learn anything from this fight, choke points are not a location you want to engage against the Chronosphere. You got to be far more cautious.
Roshan has begun for NIP. You've still got the stolen chrono on cooldown for 21 seconds. Void's got his up in 13, but Roshan will be dead in about 10. So timing-wise, that's a 5-second gap. And Gambit have taken way too long to get there. Aegis the Immortal into the hands of the Razor, and Cheese into Void.
5K gold lead. But GPK still on top of the charts. Really hope at some point he decides to pick up a BKB. He's doing everything in his power to get as many items as he can before it. Perhaps he just doesn't think he needs it.
Well, he doesn't have buyback. It's on cooldown for the moment, so he may as well. Well, he can't spend enough money to buy something. And here comes NIP. That's why Gambit just retreated back to their base. They know, like, this is where they defend. If Razor was to come a little too close, oh, if only you had that, well, you need a little bit more range on telekinesis than land distance, you could pull him inside.
NiP have made progress, though. They're chewing up the land, now on an even further developed high ground as they wait.
What is chewing up the land?
They're taking over more territory, Toby. It's how you win games of Dota 2. You ever play Risk as a kid? It's very similar.
I have. I like playing Risk on the old Warcraft 3 stuff. Like
that was fun.
That was good fun. OT, he's just building it. He's just building it, but he can't. Your Scepter will slow that down a bit.
Good job from Gunnar there.
Still able to build up 4.
Now, one thing to note is that because the invasion battle, you've got 2 halberds up on both Uni and Razor, and then there's a Void with the Daedalus playing against 0 sources of evasion. So in retrospect, hell yeah, it's a great item, especially when you consider that those time-locked bonus attacks can also crit.
Abaddon, he's going to run straight in. He's getting Sinister Gaze in by PPD. Here comes your call down. Razor the one being chronoed up by Vampire. So Jara comes trying to do the damage with the Yule Scepter from Biva. It was there to stop him from getting off this BKB as well. He has a BKB as well as the Tanning, doing both with the flat cannon damage. It's a really good spill damage, but where is the real effectiveness when the Chronosphere from Skidder holds in the Abaddon as well as the Gyrocopter? He'll never get the secondary ulti off, but there will be defensive imprisonment trying to save the Gyrocopter dream. Pushed away! He's going to get out. The agency model will break, and with the hammer dropping, Skidder got exploded as well. They still want to focus him down, and they're able to do so with a quick Hex, dodging a couple of the orbs. Gunnar needs some extra distance. PPD is trying to help him out with that one. He's saying, please kill me, and then get killed by my Lich ultimate, Undying. Just stay right next to that dragon.
Gunnar?
Yeah, Vampire also get away from that, but
So
in the trees. TP out to safety.
And that is how Gambit are going to win fights. Long engagements. They were able to drag that encounter out so that when the Chrono went off, there was really just auto attacks coming in to deal the deeps. And then the Astral is there. The hammer drops. If they can live through the Chrono and the BKB, they're going to win these fights. We can see as the fight develops, they're going to try and pursue this Gyro because of the BKB, because he's got that Satanic. He's tanking through the damage, These BKB iterations are ticking. There's the Chrono, and GB gets the slow walk forwards to be able to get the save. And now as soon as Void drops, pow.
Boom. He almost actually killed Peter with that too, if Peter was just a little in. Gambit. Now their turn to add some pressure. Remember, they still haven't claimed a tier 3 tower, so they haven't been able to remove these shrines. But they'll remove the tier 2 tower on bottom. Pushing high ground will be a pretty tall order. But I'm liking the fact that Vampire currently has a level 4 Frost Shield, so this will actually enable someone from Gambit to be that front liner. And you know it's going to be the Abaddon. And maybe Dream will run to be the first one. Tombstone drop, they're looking for the tier 3 tower. Shield on shield action. Takes a little bit of time. Here comes GPK once again, trying to build up that in very early into the fight. Biva getting a little bit more distance too. Man, GPK hits so hard. Remember, they're here for the tower. Fortification will wear off. 8 seconds till Void is up. 17 until his Chrono is there.
Yeah, it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, they want the shrines. They want to make sure next Roshan's theirs without NIP's ability to TP in.
We've discussed this in the past. We learned it at TI. Teams valuing these tier 3s very highly. The racks, not so much, especially this late into a game. 1 racks, especially the mid racks, by far the least valuable as it's the easiest to clear. You just don't care to press and potentially force yourself in a position where you might need to buy back. Much better to just clear shrines, get that map control when you can. Peter picking up a gem to try and prevent just that. 48 minutes almost into the game, still just 17-10. But Gambit definitely feeling good now, loving the idea of a team fight. You just got to be able to dodge that Chrono, live through it, and good things happen. Gunnar?
I just love the way everybody grouped up like it was time for a smoke, and then again, it's that moment no one realized there wasn't a smoke, and Gunnar realized he doesn't have a team up on that top lane. The Hex is out. He does have Cheese of Val. Will press the attack from Universe. Will break some freedom, but keep in mind, 16 in already being built up. Level 3 Stanley's Eclipse ready to drop, and they have to be prepared for it. But a good observe ward on the hillside at least lets NIP know if Gambit want to push the issue, which they will not.
It's tough. Neither side can overcommit. You can see the name of this game is to make the other side chase you a bit and then shut the jaws on the trap. And I really want to bring up the point of the distinction between OD's intelligence at 112 plus 95 without any stacks in comparison to Skeeter at a lowly 53. All right.
Hey, do you actually like the fact that he didn't even go for the plus 60 seconds?
The int difference damage multiplier is 15.09, all right? 15 times 150. That's the amount of damage Skeeter takes from a hammer before any stacks. Like, the guy is 2,200 health. You need BKB, and OD's gotta die when it fades. Simple as that.
Do you actually like the fact like this OD went for the 15% spell lifesteal over going the plus 60 seconds on the int? Considering how hard GPK is working to get some of this int. It's like he keeps losing it.
I mean, sure, but you're playing against Forrest Gump, who, while he was a hero, it wasn't really doing much in the IQ department. You're still gonna beat him on a math test, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I thought you were questioning life choices.
No, Forrest Gump's an American hero.
He is. I really enjoyed that movie.
I'm not surprised, Toby. Always nice to have a protagonist you can really see yourself in, right?
Hey, can I have BSJ? like replacement caster, please. Hey, BSJ, just come in here and grab the mic off Kyle right now. I know you're listening.
Hey, he's got the way this game's going. He's got plenty of time. We can pop in a shuttle from the hotel. He'll be here in plenty of time to see that next Roche engagement, which should be any time in the next minute to 4 minutes from now. It could be respawning in as soon as 45 seconds.
I just want to see Rubik with these Aghanim steals now. Bring him on. Quick fire.
Game's still even, though.
Game is still even. There's almost no goal in this. The advantage was the way of NIP for at least most of this game.
Yeah, we can go back. Let's see. Any big item? I mean, we got to the point where Biver's like, you know what, guys? I'm the carry. I'm going to pick up a Crystallis. No one seems to want to pick up Evasion on Gambit, so why not? I really hope at some point Dream buys a Butterfly, because he'll be nigh indestructible once he grabs one. I actually think it's by far more value than his buyback, and he will be closing in on enough gold momentarily.
Goodbye, one Observer Ward. Abaddon is the frontline scout underneath the shrine that's still up and still has his charge available. Duel. They found the OD with Laguna Blade. Is there a save? There is. There's so much life coming in. Skinner, a 3-man Chronosphere. Dream needs to do something here. In fact, I think he'll do nothing. OD, he will go down. Buybacks available. He's got no shrine to TP out to FNG and Shashlo. Now Dream turns on the DPS, killing up the Phase of Void, finding underneath the Tombstone. Biver, he yields himself up to try and dodge some of that damage, but they still kill him thanks to the vision from the Undying minions. Razor, he gets the cheese off in time. The damage from the OD won't be enough, and back under the shrine, they're ready to fight for Gyrocopter, wrapping around behind, kills off Lich. Now they turn their attention over towards Gunner, but the stuns from Biver, it's good, but maybe not good enough. The damage, Dream still holds his ground, and Gunner's so low on life, he's gonna go down too. Universe, he's trying to man mode everyone with his BKB up. Here we go again, but again, the face is void, hexed up so quickly. Gunner will buy back, and so will the Legion Commander. Everybody commit the bank accounts of NIP. The Swedish bank is broke. Razor still trying to stand his own ground with the stuns arriving from the lean if they may have enough time. Gyrocopter, he was stealing so much life and still is able to. What? They are unkillable. Gambit hold the line. They buy back on the Gyrocopter while OD hunts another kill, finally removing the Lina. And NIP, they are bought back so much. They are in recession. They are dead for almost 2 full minutes.
The market is crashed, Toby. Nip are like asking for this incredibly long fight. There's no chrono. There's no BKBs. It's Gyro OD. These are the...
That's game.
Heroes love sustained damage. What?
Why are they taking racks? Why are they taking racks? You could just take the tier 4 towers and
they have no buybacks.
What is it? Rubik is like, okay, I'll TP back to base. I'm going to BT forward. GPK wants kills. He's looking for Skidder. Okay, maybe we look at the tier 4 towers now. GG is called by NIP. They realize their position. And they're hoping.
God, that's such a great way to close out a game. You're just fighting, and you realize all of a sudden, like, wait, we're winning. Oh, we're really winning. They keep coming back. They're teleporting in. They're all dead. Hell yeah. And what a way to close it out.
Hey, are we winning this? I think we're winning this. We've got life. They've got no damage. Okay.
Fight started. I think the score was, 17-10? It ends 20-19. Gambit with 9 kills. The only one to survive for that second life was Skeeter. And you got to question the thinking. Once you blow those big cooldowns, the BKBs, the chronos, and you don't get anything out of it, the moment OD buys back, you've got to get the hell away from them. again, if he had landed a bet like the hammer had killed Razor, that's a totally different fight. Even without it, he used it before Stex. They still dominate, and Nip do not look pleased.
Well, it's a rough game to say the least, but it's not the only game we've got. We have a game 2.
Yes, indeed we do. Thank you very much, Toby, back on the panel to break things down from game number 1 of our final series in the group stage. Just a